What's up guys, Crane here from LogicLounge.com, back with another flight simulation video. Today we are going to be flying into my hometown, Seattle. I know we've done a couple of flights out of Seattle and it's been a fun experience, but I saw somewhere in the comments that people were saying, well, maybe you should fly into Seattle. So I'm taking that opportunity today to do that. Plus another viewer requested airport. We are currently in Dallas's Fort Worth Airport. DFW is their ICAO code. And we're at Terminal A right now, so that's on the northeast side of the map here. We got our baggage trucks fighting for room as they're heading in here. This is FS Dream Team's scenery. They are another really widely just great map developer. They make wonderful maps for airports. This is their Fort Worth one. They've done just a spectacular job with it, from it being so realistic, so much detail put into these airports, just incredibly insane. So today we're doing American Airlines Flight 1220. This is their Airbus A321 service from Fort Worth to Seattle. So that will be a pretty fun little flight for us today. Our flight time today is scheduled for 3 hours and 32 minutes. So it'll be a nice hop up to Seattle. So this is this is Aerosoft's Airbus A321. We're not using the default A321. We're using Airbus's A321, or Aerosoft's A321. There we go. Can't think. I'm half sick right now, but let's jump into the cockpit here and get everything set up. So first off, let's go ahead and load our fuel and payload. That's the number one thing that I like to do. It's also been a while since I've flown one of these, so we'll try to do this. So our passenger number, today we're taking 181 people. Our cargo is 4.7, like so. And our fuel today, we're taking 14.8 tons of fuel. The full flight plan will be in the description down below, so check that out. Just do an instant load here so it loads up all of our fuels and balances. And I think it wants me to close the aft left door. So that is aircraft doors, aft left. We'll go ahead and close it. So we're using GSX to load up the aircraft right now, and as that's all done, we're going to head over here and start our procedure here. So I think we're behind. We're in 1607 right now. I think our actual current air rack is 1609. I guess I forgot to update it. My bad. Sometimes Aerosoft's stuff doesn't update correctly. So today we're heading from KDFW to KSEA, like so. There are no flight plans in. I couldn't get really a flight plan into this, but we're AAL 1220 is our flight number, like so. Cost index today, we're going to be doing a cost index of 60. That's off the top of my head because I really don't know how Airbus does their cost indexes. And our initial cruise altitude is 320, but I'm pretty sure we can get way higher than that. So we'll try to climb up and find some good weather, because I heard today there's some significant storms around DFW, so we're going to want to get up and out of that. Our block fuel today, or our fuel that we'll be using en route, is 10.8 tons. Like so. So it kind of calculates our reserves and everything, which is nice to have. So now we'll head over to our flight plan page, and out of DFW we are going to be taking the Hoodad 2 departure, so departures. We're also going to be taking off of 35 left, because that's our kind of closest runway. So 35 left, 35 left, because that's our closest runway. And then it's the Hoodad departure. I was resourcing this from the currently active flight plan for this flight. There it is, Hoodad 2 departure. And I don't think it has a transition. No, it does not have a transition. So we'll insert that, and that gets us all the way up to Hoodad. Then from Hoodad, it's going to be TBE. Oh, which TBD is it? 3710, 3710. So it's this one. From TBD, I'll just be filling out a couple of these, at least, so I can get up into the air. Then I'll fill out the rest on the way. So KD45W. And then flood, FLOOD, is how it's spelt. Like so. Then KD63 Sierra, KD63 Sierra, like so. And then KU69Q, KU69Q. And then KU75, I think it's a 750. KU750. And then PIH. Not taking many airways today. PIH. Then to KU87K. KU87K. We're actually almost done filling this in. And then PDT. PDT is Pendleton. I know that for sure. Pendleton VOR. And that's at, just make sure I select the right one. 45-118. 45-119, close enough. All right. And then from there, our arrival is going to be a fun arrival because we'll have to vector ourselves unless we have ATC on, and we are connected to the VATSIM ATC network, so maybe we will get ATC, maybe we won't, we'll have to see. But for right now, excuse me, I have a cold, so I'm kind of not recording this in best of conditions. We're going to plan for 3-4 center as our arrival on the Chins 1 arrival, and our transition is that Pendleton VOR like so. So now, if we back up here and we go to plan, we can kind of step through, if I can get both of these in frame. Okay, so you kind of look up here. So, like so, like so. And then we just step all the way up to Seattle, and then it will be vectors from a VOR near Seattle, and that will be fun. So I think it's Auburn is where we take over manually, and then we'll vector ourselves to 3-4 center as the arrival, like so. Perfect. Okay. So now that we are all good there, come back down here, and then we'll look at our performance data now. So we're going to be doing flaps 1 for departure. That gives us a V1 speed of 153, a rotate speed of 156, and a V2 of 159, which all looks acceptable. We will not mess with any of the phases right now. So our optimal flight level is actually 350, which we could actually, we'll just do this. We're going to amend our cruise altitude to 340, and then we'll step climb sometime in the future of this flight. Maybe we'll see how busy it is there. So perfect. So we're all set up there. We're all set up here. How is our outside cargo doing? Are they done and over with? They are done and over with. Okay, so cargo has loaded onto our flight. Just look how pretty the A321 is. I'm a fan of the A321. I mean, I don't think it can beat Boeing, but the A321 is still a fantastic aircraft. So we'll jump back in the cockpit here. We'll head over to this screen, and we'll start closing some doors. Now I'm using the integrated cockpit assistant within Aerosoft's A321. So as soon as I close this front left door here, she's going to start, or I guess he is going to start rambling on. So I think we're pretty much ready to do that. So we'll go ahead and close the front left door, and then we'll probably get some instructions, I think. And I'll go back to the checklist. The co-pilot is on.
Okay, let's do the before start checklist. Windows and doors closed and locked. HPU set on.
APU bleed.
So now the APU is starting up. I changed our altitude to 340 as our final because we don't have any ATC on, so we're just going to be climbing right on up there. You'll see that our speed and our heading are actually blanked out. This is a feature of the Airbus aircraft where the computer takes over control for most things. So if the computer doesn't need to show it to you, it just blanks it out. So there's no random numbers just sitting in here. It will blank everything else out unless you need to know, which is, some people like it, some people don't. It's just on personal preference to some people. So let's turn on some integrity lights here. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Now we're looking pretty. Let's go ahead and release the jet bridge, which will...
Set on. External power.
Disconnected and off.
Cabin signs.
Set on.
Thrust levers.
Idle.
Parking brake.
Set on.
Barrow reference.
Checked. 1, 0, 1, 2.
1, 0, 1, 2. Check beacon lights.
Set on.
Checklist complete.
So now I'm going to prepare for pushback and departure. Hopefully. Come on, GSX, you've been working thus far. No. GSX, why? Why, GSX, why? Okay. What if I do this? Hold on. I'm going to cheat. Customize position. Do that like so. Pushback direction, both apply. Okay. Now work, please. That guy is right there, should be moving. Nope. Okay. Guess we are going to push back on our own. Let me figure out where I want to push back to. So I think I want to push back into this alley right here. Yeah, that's where I want to push back. I want to push back into the alley. That's what we're going to do. All right.
Parking brake released.
Parking brake is released. And I will start just the Control P pushback. So now it is up to me to start our engines. That's my input thus far into this bird. I like flying the Aerosoft Airbus just for the fact that a lot of it is automated. Because they have the co-pilot, which you can turn on and off, but I like having it on because I think it's fun. It's fun to have your workload spread out and actually have a co-pilot who takes over some of that workload. That's just something that I think is so much fun. So we'll start our pushback into the left. And like I say, usually I wait until I've crossed the access road that's usually behind the gates before I start engines. So we're coming up on that right about now. So we'll go ahead and start engine 2, then 1.
Starting engine 2.
So here comes engine 2. And we're going to come out this taxiway right here, so we're going to wait till we get to a good point where we can turn on to this taxiway right here. I think it's actually this line that we want to get lined up with. So we're almost stabilized on the engine. Actually, I think we are stabilized. Yep.
Starting engine 1.
Now we'll start engine number 1, and we will complete pushback here.
Parking brakes are set.
And let's get a view of this starting engine right here. There has been some controversy recently on the paint for American Airlines, and if people like the new paint job on their planes. And personally, I think it looks nice. It's nice and modern. It looks cool. It's definitely something that I prefer. So I think it's nice. All right, so that's almost stabilized. N2 is still coming up, I think. We'll come look over here. N2 is still coming up. Yep, it's about stabilized now. Yeah, so we gotta be stabilized. So I think we need to do the after start checklist. But I may have just broken the checklist. No. Okay, so we'll have to do the after start checklist ourselves, which is pretty simple. It's just coming over here to turn off the APU, turn off the bleeds. All of our pumps are on, so it's kind of just checking the overhead panel really to see if there's anything of notice here, and there is not. We will turn on our nose lights to taxi. Nav logo is good. Strobe is fine. All right. So now that we're good here, we're going to set up everything and start taxiing. So brakes are coming off. And we'll add a little bit of pressure. And we'll be on our way. So our taxi out is going to be super simple today with the way DFW is set up and the way we taxi. So we're just going to come out here, I believe, to Lima. I think it's Lima. It's going to be the second right. And we'll go from there. So as we're doing that, we're going to do our takeoff config stuff. So looking at our takeoff config, auto brake is set to max, flaps 1 for takeoff. And takeoff config test, which is this button, takeoff config is normal. All right. So here we are out to Lima. Right turn on to Lima and follow it all the way down to the end. Uh-oh. My rudder pedals just slipped. No. There we go. So no real ATC on yet. Let's see if I can... Still can't start working checklists yet, can I? Nope. I broke the checklists. Alright. That sucks. Guess I gotta do everything myself. It's not too bad of a day right now. I'm surprised because I was seeing a lot of activity, like significant weather activity around DFW, but I guess that's all kind of gone the way right now at least. Or at least we might be in a pocket, so let's get out of here before the pocket closes. We've got to go all the way down to the end. DFW is actually a quite nicely laid out airport. It's got 4 parallel runways. It has a lot of taxiways and a lot of gates. It's a good airport for sure. So while we're doing this, I'm going to come over to my charts, and I said it's the Hoodad departure, Hoodad 2 departure, which is pretty much just a departure on a heading. Actually, really, it's a departure straight to a point. Let me see if the point's in here. To Haskell. Yes. Okay, perfect. And then we have a crossing restriction for that, which is 5,000 feet, which we should be able to make that no problem. So landing in Seattle is always fun. I like coming from the north a little bit better because you fly right by the Space Needle. You fly right over downtown Seattle. Coming from the south, it doesn't have a lot of things to see, but we'll have to see what the wind is like once we get to Seattle, which of course will be in part 2 of this video. I'm always thankful for you guys watching these videos, and leave your comments in the comment section down below if you think I did something wrong. If you want to see me fly somewhere, I'm always open to flying to different places, because that's kind of why I like doing this, is because you get to fly to different locations, something that I wish I could do. But it should be fun. Our departure is nice and simple, which is nice. I've noticed that about DFWs, that they have kind of simple departures, quick departures out of their airspace, because they're a very busy airspace, not only for being a busy international airport in and of itself, but they have a lot of other busy international airports around them, which is insane. You kind of have to be on your toes in here. So I think I might also be able to take off early. These runways are super long, and we don't need a lot of space today. Maybe Alpha? This is what is this right coming up here? Kilo 12? Okay, so oh, we're already at the end. Okay, so we're gonna take this. So there's kind of like 3 lefts now. It's Echo Papa, Echo Quebec, and Echo Romeo. We're gonna take this first one because we don't need all the runway. So we're just gonna go ahead and do that. So now we'll flip on all of our lights, like so, to takeoff modes. Perfect. And so we are cleared for takeoff. Now, one thing that's interesting about Airbus aircraft is the way that you take off. So if I can stop on the runway here, if you look at the throttle quadrant, it has its normal throttles, and then it has kind of these indentations. So you have flex, max temp, and TO GA, takeoff go around. So you actually here, I'll show you as we take off here. So you advance forward a little bit to kind of get the engine spooling, and then you go 1 click, 2 click, and now we're in toga. Just weird to me. It really is weird to me. So thrust is set. Speed is rising. .80 knots. A little bit left. Use that rudder to get right a little bit. Got a pretty strong tailwind. Okay. V1 and rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. Autopilot coming on. So now that we're climbing, we need to bring this back from our takeoff power to our climb power, which is crazy. So now autopilot's taking over. It's going to kind of level us out here so we can gain speed. And at about 200 knots, we can go V or flaps up. And here we go with flaps up since we're gaining speed nicely. As we start our climb up, we'll intercept our first point here, which is Haskell. It's Hazkl. And it'll be just a left-hand turn on up to our cruise altitude, which is going to be nice. Like I said, outside doesn't look too bad right now. It really doesn't. And so I think we should be fine, realistically, in the climb. I don't think we'll have any issues whatsoever with our climbs, so that should be fun. Our departure isn't too bad. I've probably thrown it up on the screen already so you can kind of see our departure. It's kind of just a straight out departure. In reality, domestic flights in the United States are just straight lines. That's what they do pretty much. They're just straight lines all around the U.S. Sometimes they'll have to swerve and turn a little bit, but that's more towards when you're getting to your destination or leaving your destination. But other than that, it's kind of straight lines. Whereas with longer flights, you got to do these big old arches around the Earth, or you have to do these crazy flight plans. That doesn't really happen with domestic U.S. flights. Domestic U.S. flights are pretty much just straight lines, which is kind of cool. So that is what we're doing today. Pretty much just a straight line. So that's all I can say, really. I think I've rambled on for long enough. I like making a lot of information in these videos. I like packing these things with a lot of educational information, but I also like to keep you guys entertained, and I don't think I can really do that for you guys. So as always, I will leave you guys with a montage up to our climbing cruise altitude, and I will see you guys. Oh. Apparently it's safe to use your portable electronic devices. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys back here in part 2 of our video, which will be our arrival and landing into Seattle.